If you recently checked your retirement account balance and you freaked out, don't worry, you're not alone. But what you do next is critical for your retirement. In this video, we're going to talk about the 3 things that you need to do in order to save your 401k IRA during a market crisis. I am John V, CEO and founder of Agent Risk Wealth Management, and if you haven't subscribed yet, click that red subscribe button. The first thing we have to do is stop worrying about the future. I know it's much easier said than done, but how do we do that? We do that by making sure we have enough money in the bank. The real question is how much money? The standard advice when the whole world is not under quarantine is to have 6 months to a year of expenses in your savings account. That means if your monthly expenses are $5,000, it's good to have $30,000 to $60,000 in your bank account. But what happens when there is a market crisis? Statistically, it takes 8 months to a year and a half for a diversified portfolio to recover from a market crash. At least that's what happened in 63% of the times when we experienced a market crash in the past. A portfolio that had exposure only to equities would have taken around 8 years to recover from the dot-com bubble in 2000 and 6 years from the crash in 2008. As a good measure, it is prudent to have at least 2 years of expenses in our savings account and try to reduce any non-essential spending. Market dips is where fortunes are made, but where also fortunes are lost if we act emotionally. When I was in the Bay Area learning how to fly a plane, my instructor told me it's a very good practice whenever I have a passenger to go through the whole process. You know, taking off, landing, don't talk when I try to talk with the air traffic, and most importantly, try to explain that there might be a turbulence during our trip. And this is absolutely expected and usual. The same mentality we need to apply to our financial plan. You should have a plan before being up in the air, and your advisor, if you have one, should be your co-pilot. My fellow financial advisors, don't be like commercial airlines that tell you all of a sudden, tighten your belt, no pun intended, whenever there is a rough patch. Communicate, engage, and inform your clients. Let's go back to having a plan. Having a plan is a fantastic advice if you already have a plan. But what can you do when you're not prepared? Relax. Try not to look and obsess over your portfolio. Try to meditate. Go for a run, maybe for a walk. Try to start a new hobby. Looking your portfolio going up and down all the time, thinking whether you should liquidate or not, is a recipe for disaster. Remember, the markets are not moving linearly. They are volatile and unpredictable. If you don't stick to your financial plan, there are high chances that you'll miss out on the market recovery, plus any potential dividends or tax credits if you have a taxable account. Talk to your financial advisor, create a plan of attack, and hang in there. The first mistake most investors do is having the wrong risk profile. When the markets are doing great, everybody's aggressive. The moment there is volatility in the market, they want out. The second all-time classic mistake is trying to readjust your risk appetite during a market crisis. Have you ever been to a supermarket while you are very hungry? You usually end up buying all this unhealthy crap unless you have and you follow a list. That's exactly what happens when you decide to change all of a sudden your financial plan. You are not thinking clearly. You are not thinking long term. You will end up selling assets at a loss. A terrible strategy for tax-sheltered accounts. My advice if you want to readjust your risk profile is not to take money out, but to put more money in, provided that you have enough cash reserves. That way you are buying at a lower price and your future self will definitely thank you. Provided you meet the requirements, you can put $6,000 to your IRA for 2019 before the 15th of April and another $6,000 for 2020. This is $12,000 that you can use right now for your tax-sheltered account. You can literally buy stocks at a discount. To summarize, have enough cash reserves, relax, buy more. If you liked this video, please subscribe and leave some comments down below. Thank you and see you next time.